next thing we want to talk about that we hadn't talked about is we did the wash away topper last week with you, which that keeps your fabrics from sinking down in. We did the light tearaway last week. We did the medium tearaway last week. And if you notice, what's really nice about Kimberbell is they color coordinate their stabilizers, because you'll see all the tearaways is pink, red, orange, and deep red. And you've got your medium cutaway, and you'll see that's a light orange and a dark orange for the heavy cutaway. So we discussed the use of those. So this week we are finishing up with the embroidery topper. If you're using a dark fabric, you can use this as a topper, and it creates a contrast so that you can see your embroidery design, or you can, use it with monogramming. So this is a new product that came out with the Kimberbell. They have touched and filled every spot that you will need with embroidery. If the product's not, if it's too heavy, you can go to the medium or you can go to the light. So Kimberbell has filled every spot in embroidery stabilizers, I think. So I wanted to show you that this morning. That great stuff called Flex Foam. Flex Foam is when you want to add, they call it dimension interfacing. So I wanted to show you this. And I wanted, it gives you definition, it adds shape to the structure, but it is not heavy. So I wanted to give you a visual. If you look at these radishes, they've got a little rise in them. So this is done with the Flex Foam. And we did this at Christmas time in one of our classes. This also has Flex Foam in it, where it gives it definition so that you can see. And this was a mud rug type thing that Jill had done for me when we first started doing a lot of embroidery, and she went crazy. So this is Flex Foam on the back. Of course, it's not the Kimberbell, but I wanted to give you examples of the Flex Foam. If you're making purses, Flex Foam is a great product. I like Flex Foam in making purses because if you just use batting or the fleece, it loses its shape after a woman puts all of her money in the bag, in her purse, and it hangs on her shoulder. But with Flex Foam, it will help you. It's flexible, but it still keeps its shape. So that's really a wonderful product, not only for the embroidery, but if you're making purses or you're quilting, it quilts out very pretty. And you can see some of the stitches, there's some quilt stitches on this. So we wanted to show you that. A few other things that we wanted to show you is the ultralight cutaway mesh. Now you say, why do I need that? Well, we've all started using mesh, at least in our classes we have in the past, and you say, well, what's the difference in the light and the ultralight? Well, I was looking for my little tab like this, because what's really nice is these fit around. So what is the difference? This is great for piecing quilts. This is great for baby quilts, or if you just want to add some light touch in it, because if you have used the cutaway stabilizer, what happens, and this is proven, it gets too heavy. And anybody that has put a Need a Good Design quilt together and they use the cutaway or they use the tearaway, at the end of making the quilt became so heavy. With the light and the ultralight, that gives you the control. so that it doesn't happen. And with mesh, you leave it in, and it's very lightweight, and it doesn't show on the other side of your quilt block. Now, I hope I've explained that to you, the difference when you say what's the difference between mesh, what's the difference between cutaway. So these are great products to leave in your quilting, whether it's a baby quilt or it's a regular quilt, you know, like the double wedding ring that Anita Good Design puts out, which is a beautiful quilt. But it ended up being so heavy because several of the folks here done it. And if we could have used this, I think it would have made your quilt just a little lighter, because when you're embroidering quilts, sometimes they get heavy because they're so dense, and I wanted to share that with you this morning. And I wanted to show you, I pulled this out of the back. This is done with a mesh, and I wanted to show you the back of it so that you could see. And with mesh, it's lightweight. This was a table runner that Jill had done for us for an example with the embroidery and with the quilting, how you can put it together. But what's really nice and how you can tell a difference if you use cutaway or tearaway is it's still heavy in your finished product. So there is a big difference. Some people says I just use cutaway or I use tearaway. Those are the two I have at my house. Well, you need to rethink your game, because I'm giving you more information why, how, when, and where you need to use it. So I wanted to share that with you this morning and give you a visual while we use the no-show meshes, light, ultra light. So that's important. And then, of course, Betsy, I hope you're watching this morning, because I have talked about these products with Betsy. This is wash away. This will dissolve in 20 seconds. This is a great product where you want to totally take away the stabilizer in whatever you're using it on. Towels would be a great one, and I did bring some towels out, a towel out to show you. You know, if you wanted to totally wash away, then I would use it on this. You don't need a lot of stabilizer in this because of the thickness of the towel, but you also need to use a topper because of all these loosely woven threads can get caught in your machine. And for a design like this, you need one of the higher end machines. You can't do this design with a 5x7, so we really push people to buy a machine that has at least a 6x10 frame in it, so that you have the freedom to pick whatever design when you're out shopping for designs. So I wanted to show you that. So that's a way to use the wash away. And of course, it comes in 3 different sizes. It comes in the 12x10, the 20x10, and it also comes in the sheets. Kimberbell answered that problem as far as waste, so I wanted to mention that and talk to you about that. So that's really nice. I think it is. So that is wash away. Now we have the sticky, the wash away sticky back. If you're using chiffon or organza, this is a great product to use, or hard to hoop products. So you can score it and use it for that, and it's really, and it washes away. Jill likes to use a Q-tip with a little water and loosen it up and watch it disappear. So we wanted to share it with you, and I wanted to share, this was a project we did with Anita. Matter of fact, we did a class. This is one of the products where you use the wash away. So you see how nice that turns out, and it went together very well. I wanted to give you all kinds of wonderful samples of wash away. Aren't those beautiful? And they take a long time to stitch out, and so when you are finished, you rinse the stabilizer out, wash away, and this creates them. These are great to put on your tree or to put on a gift bag. This was done with the variegated thread, so I wanted to show you that. And how's it look on the back? I wanted you to see that. If you use one color, you really can't see. And you know, if you're doing this with embroidery, you need to use the same color on the bottom that you used on the top. So that is the complete Kimberbell stabilizers. I hope I've helped you. If you're still confused, and I want to add this, and if you're still confused, come into our store. We talk to you about your project as far as what you're doing. This was done with a it was done with a cutaway where it's left in. So I wanted to show you that. I wanted to give you samples of the different ones. But if you're still confused and you say, well, you run through things so quick, come into the store. That's why you shop local, so that we can educate you. Sure, you can go online and buy stabilizers all day long, but at the Sewing Gallery, we go the extra mile. We help you achieve great results at the end, and that's important when you're giving a gift away. So we wanted to share that with you this morning.